Hey, this is your hillbilly historian coming to you from a really cold East Tennessee in the Appalachian Hills here in late January. It is really, really cold. We're having a major cold front here. Gets down in the single digits at night, and it's not much warmer of a day, even with the sun shining. It is really, really cold, freezing weather. But anyway, today I want to talk to you about something curious that a lot of you probably don't know, but being in college back in the 1950s, well, high school in the 50s and 60s and college in the 60s, I remember this well. One of our greater actors in Hollywood is a guy by the name of Bruce Dern. D-E-R-N, Bruce Dern. Really good actor. He's played a lot of bad guys. In fact, he shot and killed John Wayne in a movie called The Cowboys, where John Wayne was using a bunch of kids to move cattle on a cattle trail, and Bruce Dern was an outlaw, and he killed John Wayne. He said, I saw him on a talk show one time. He said people would come up to him in the street, curse him out, and spit on him because he killed the Duke. And that's how good an actor Bruce Dern was. He did such a good job of killing John Wayne, people actually thought he did. And hated him for it. But anyway, Bruce, how I remember him, Bruce Dern, he had a relative, an ancestor, who won a Nobel Prize in poetry, a McLeish. He also had an ancestor that was Secretary of War and governor of the state of Utah. But anyway, Bruce Dern was a real good track star in high school, and he got a scholarship, University of Pennsylvania. And during his sophomore year, he was letting his sideburns grow. The fans were chanting, "Go Elvis, go! Go Elvis, go!" The coach didn't like it and ordered him to cut his sideburns, and Dern refused. So they kicked him off the track team because he refused to cut his sideburns. And that was a big issue back in the late 50s, early 60s. So Bruce Dern dropped out of the University of Pennsylvania, went to Hollywood, and became a success. He played a good role in a movie, I think, called The Posse, where he made a fool out of Kirk Douglas, who was a big sheriff going to run for the U.S. Senate and all that. And Bruce Dern made a fool out of him. He was a good actor, really good, great. I thought he was a great actor, right up there with a lot of great actors in Hollywood that don't get recognized. They make stars out of people that can't act, like Gary Cooper, James Garner, people like that can't act, but they make big stars out of them and give them good roles. And they have to be supported by other people who can act. And Bruce Dern was one that could really act. He was like that Warren Oates guy. Warren Oates, I think, was one of the least appreciated great actors in Hollywood history. Warren Oates, great actor, but they never made a star out of him. Now Bruce kind of made a star out of himself. He was really good, but he jumped to fame because he refused to cut his sideburns. When the fans were chanting, "Go Elvis, go!" and he was running, and his track mates, he was, I think he ran a 151 in the 800, which is pretty darn good back in them days for a white boy. And sports hadn't been integrated that much back then. And so Bruce quit. He wouldn't cut his sideburns. They kicked him off the track team, so he dropped out of college. Became a famous Hollywood actor. And I've always liked Bruce Dern. We really stood up for him when he rebelled against being forced to get his hair cut. And the 60s was a time of student rebellion in America, and there was a hippie movement, Students for a Democratic Society, and all this, and a lot of rebellion across college campuses in America in the 1960s, and Bruce, we stood up for him. We really admired the fact that he refused to get his hair cut, even though they did kick him off the track team. We really believed in individual liberty and independence and individualism back at that time, and we were trying to create a revival of individualism and individual looks and everything, you know. And we had Elvis with the big sideburns, Elvis the Pelvis, with a lot of movement on stage, suggestive movement, and Beatles with their long hair and everything. We kind of like this kind of individualism and individual independence back in them days. And Bruce Dern took his individualism and went to Hollywood and became a famous actor. A lot of people don't know that about him, but he was highly admired among us people who were young. Now, I was a stuffed shirt Republican back in the 1960s, but I still believed in individualism and individual expression. And the hippies became yuppies and got jobs and had families and pets and stuff, and integrated right in there with the great American dream. But anyway, this is a little bit about Bruce Dern from your hillbilly historian here in the hills of East Tennessee. And all you kids out there, value your individualism and your independence. But yet, don't be a criminal. You know, being individual and independent don't mean you can break the law and commit crime. And it's good to obey the law, but express your individualism. Don't let people mold you into an automaton, a robotic nothing, you know, a member of the mob who never sticks out. Always stand up for your individualism of expression, and be your own man, your own woman, and live life the way you want to live it without stepping on the toes of others. But anyway, this is your hillbilly historian coming to you from the hills of East Tennessee here in Appalachia.